Judges chapter 17, story of Micah. A man named Micah lived in the mountains of Ephraim. One day he said to his mother, "The 1100 silver shekels taken from you and about which you uttered a curse in my hearing are in my possession. It was I who took that silver, and now I return it to you." His mother answered, "May the Lord bless my son." So he returned the 1100 silver shekels to his mother. But his mother said to him, "I had consecrated this money to the Lord with my own hand, so that with this money my son could make a statue cast in metal. So I am giving this silver back to you." He, however, returned the silver to his mother, and she took 200 shekels of silver and gave them to the silversmith who made a statue cast in metal. This was placed in the house of Micah. Thus Micah had a shrine. He also made an ephod on some household idols, and consecrated also one of his sons as a priest. At that time there was no king in Israel, and each one did what seemed right to him. There was a young Levite of Bethlehem in Judah who was living among the clans of Judah as an alien. One day he left Bethlehem in Judah and set out in search of another place where he could live. He came to the house of Micah in the mountains of Ephraim. Micah asked him, "Where do you come from?" He answered, "I am a Levite, and I have come walking from Bethlehem. I am in search of a place where I can stay." Micah said to him, "Stay in my house and be a father and priest to me. I shall give you 10 silver shekels a year, clothing and food." So the Levite went into his house. The Levite agreed to stay in Micah's house and became like one of his sons. Micah consecrated the Levite, and this young man became his priest and remained in the house of Micah. And Micah said, "Now I know that the Lord will bestow favors on me, for this Levite has become my priest." Judges chapter 18, Migration of the Danites. At that time there was no king in Israel. The tribe of Dan was looking for a territory to dwell in, because until that day they had not received a share in the inheritance among the tribes of Israel. So the Danites sent 5 valiant men from Zorah and Eshtaol, all from the Danite tribe, to go around the land and explore it. They said to them, "Go and explore the country." These men came to the mountains of Ephraim near the house of Micah and spent the night there. When they were near the house, they recognized the voice of the young Levite, so they went in. They asked him, "Who has brought you here? What are you doing in this place? Why are you here?" He answered, "Such and such a thing Micah has done for me. He has hired me to become his priest." They said to him, "Ask God that we may know whether the journey we are making shall be successful or not." The priest answered them, "Go in peace. The journey you make is under the care of the Lord." The 5 men left and came to Laish. They saw that the inhabitants of that place were living in safety according to the customs of the Sidonians, quiet and trusting people with no one creating trouble. They lived far from the Sidonians and had no dealings with anyone else. Upon their return to their brothers in Zorah and Eshtaol, they were asked, "What news do you bring?" They answered, "Come on, let us go and attack them, for the country we have seen is an excellent one. But why are you silent? Do not delay in setting out to conquer the land. When you go, you shall meet a quiet people. The land is vast, and God has given it into our hands, a place which does not lack anything." So 600 armed men of the tribe of Dan set out from Zorah and Eshtaol. They went up and encamped at Kiriath Jearim in Judah. Hence to this day the place which lies west of Kiriath Jearim is called Camp of Dan. From there they passed through the mountains of Ephraim and came to the house of Micah. Then the 5 men who had gone to explore the land of Laish addressed their brothers and said, "Do you not know that in one of these houses there is an ephod, a teraphim, and some small idols, and a statue cast in metal? Now decide what you have to do." The troops made a detour and entered the house of the young Levite, the home of Micah, and greeted him. Meanwhile, the 600 armed Danites stood at the threshold of the gate. Then the 5 men who had earlier gone up to explore the land went into the house and took the statue, the ephod, the teraphim, and the small idols, while the priest stood at the gate with the 600 armed men. When these men went into the house of Micah and took the statue, the ephod, the teraphim, and the small idols, the priest said to them, "What are you doing?" They said to him, "Be quiet, put your hand on your mouth and come with us. You shall be a father and priest to us. Do you prefer to be a priest in the house of one individual or to be a priest for a tribe of Israel?" This made the priest happy, so he took the ephod, the teraphim, and the statue and went with the troops. The Danites went on their way with the women, children, livestock, and precious objects going ahead of them. They were already far from the house of Micah when the people of the neighboring houses started shouting and set out to pursue them. But the Danites turned around and said to Micah, "Why are you shouting?" He answered, "You have taken the gods which I made, and my priest is going away with me. What else is left to me? And yet you still ask me, what is the matter with you?" The Danites answered, "Be quiet now, lest some ill-tempered men may fall upon you and kill you and your household." So the Danites went their way, and Micah, seeing that they were stronger, returned home. As for them, they now had the gods which Micah had fashioned and the priest he had in his service, and they marched on against Laish, a quiet and trusting people. They put the inhabitants to the sword and burned the city. No one came to help them, and they lived far from Sidon and had no relationship with the Arameans. This city was in the valley which extended to Beth Rehob. The Danites rebuilt the city and lived there, and they gave it the name Dan in memory of their ancestor Dan, son of Israel. For the city was formerly called Laish. They set aside a place for the statue, and Jonathan, a descendant of Gershon, son of Moses, and his sons after him, became priest of the tribe of Dan until the time when the people of the land were taken into exile. They set up for themselves the statue Micah had made, and it remained there as long as the house of God was in Shiloh. Psalm 108, a song of victory. My heart is ready, O God. I will sing and make music. Awake, my soul, awake, harp and lyre. I will awake the dawn. I will thank you, O Lord, among the nations. I will sing praise to you among the peoples, for your love is higher than the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches to the skies. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over the earth. Give help and save us by your right hand, and rescue those you love. God has spoken in his sanctuary. In triumph I will divide up Shechem and parcel out the valley of Sukkoth. Gilead is mine, Manasseh is mine, Ephraim is my helmet, Judah is my scepter, Moab is my wash basin. Upon Edom I cast my sandal. Over Philistia I shout in triumph. Who will take me to the fortified city? Who will lead me to Edom? O God, have you really rejected us? You no longer go with our armies, O God. Give us aid against the foe, for the help of man is not worth a straw. With God we will gain victory. He will crush the enemy for us. Luke chapter 14, verse 25 to 35. The cost of following Jesus. One day when large crowds were walking along with Jesus, he turned and said to them, "If you come to me without hating your father and mother, your spouse and children, your brothers and sisters, and indeed yourself as well. You cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not follow me carrying his own cross cannot be my disciple. Do you build a house without first sitting down to count the cost, to see whether you have enough to complete it? Otherwise, if you have laid the foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone will make fun of you. He began to build, they will say, and could not finish. If a king intends to wage a war against another king, does he go to fight without first sitting down to consider whether his 10,000 men can stand against the 20,000 of his opponents? And if not, while the other is still a long way off, he sends messengers for peace talks. In the same way, none of you may become my disciple if he does not give up everything he has. However good the salt may be, if it has lost its taste, you cannot make it salty again. It is fit for neither soil nor manure. It is to be thrown away. Listen then, if you have ears.